There are moments in life that do not come to comfort you, but to awaken you. If you feel tired, pressured, and pulled towards something you cannot explain, this message is not reaching you by accident. Chosen one, listen carefully, because what you are about to receive is not ordinary encouragement. This is a warning, a summons, and a divine interruption sent to shake you out of delay, fear, and spiritual sleep. There are seasons when God does not merely whisper to soothe your pain, He speaks with weight because your soul has been standing too long between who you were and who you were created to become. You have felt it, haven't you? That quiet pressure inside your chest, that inner knowing that your life cannot continue the way it has been, that sacred restlessness telling you there is more assigned to you than survival. You are not here by coincidence. A divine hand has pulled you into this exact moment. Every wound you buried, every silent tear you cried, every night you wondered why life had to be so heavy, none of it was wasted. God saw it. God recorded it. And now He is saying that this moment is serious because your future, your purpose, and your destiny are standing at a crossroads. This is not the time to live carelessly. This is not the time to let fear make decisions that faith was meant to make. If something in your spirit is trembling as you hear this, understand that God is calling you out of the shadows of doubt and into the light of obedience. Your life will not change simply because you heard this message. It will change when you answer it. Chosen one, what is at stake right now is far greater than a better season, a new opportunity, or a temporary breakthrough. Your life is not only about what happens to you. Your life is about what God wants to release through you. There are people connected to your obedience, people whose hope, healing, courage, and awakening may be waiting on the moment you finally stop doubting what God has already placed inside you. That is why this message carries weight. When God calls a chosen one, He is not only calling them into personal blessing, He is calling them into impact. Your family may not understand it yet. Your friends may not see it yet. Even you may still be struggling to believe it fully. But there is a light in you that was never meant to stay hidden under fear, exhaustion, comparison, or the opinions of people who never saw your private battles. God has prepared a table for you in the presence of those who doubted you. The same forces that tried to break your confidence, silence your prayer, and bury your dream will have to witness the hand of God lifting you. Not because you are trying to prove yourself, but because God is about to prove His faithfulness through your life. The ones who thought your delay meant denial will see that your waiting was preparation. The ones who thought your silence meant weakness will realize it was discipline. But you must not miss the seriousness of this hour. The enemy does not need to destroy your destiny if he can distract you from stepping into it. Fear, confusion, procrastination, emotional heaviness, and old habits are not random. They are resistance around your assignment. Stand firm. This is not the moment to shrink back. This is the moment to choose faith with your whole life. God's plan for you is bigger than anything your mind has been able to hold. You may have tried to measure your future by your current circumstances, by your bank account, by the people who left, by the doors that closed, or by the mistakes that still echo in your memory. But God does not build destiny from the evidence of your weakness. He builds it from the authority of His promise. He said He knows the plans He has for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. That means even when your life looked scattered, heaven was not confused. But now you must understand something serious. The closer you get to the life God prepared, the louder the resistance becomes. The world will try to pull you back into the version of yourself you have outgrown. People will question your faith because they only knew you in your struggle. Circumstances will test your patience because growth always exposes what still needs surrender. And the enemy will whisper that you are not ready, not worthy, not strong enough, not spiritual enough, not healed enough to walk into what God promised. Do not agree with those lies. The attack against your mind is proof that your purpose is a threat to darkness. If there were nothing valuable inside you, there would be no pressure trying to bury it. So stand firm, put on the full armor of God. Guard your thoughts, protect your peace, and stop letting temporary emotions rewrite eternal promises. Faith is not believing only when everything makes sense. Faith is Noah building while others laughed. Faith is walking when you cannot see the full road. And chosen one, your faith will be vindicated. Chosen one, your waiting season was not empty. It may have looked silent on the outside, but heaven was doing work in places no one could see. God was pruning what could not travel with you into the next season. He was separating you from voices that fed your fear, habits that weakened your spirit, and attachments that made you question your worth. You thought nothing was happening, but God was refining your heart for the weight of what He is about to release. This is why you cannot despise the years that felt hidden. The isolation, the delay, the unanswered prayers, the doors that stayed closed longer than you expected, they were not proof that God forgot you. They were evidence that He was preparing you carefully. Some blessings are too heavy for an unhealed heart. Some doors require a stronger spirit. Some assignments demand a deeper level of obedience than your old self could have carried. Now God is bringing you into a season of overflow. But overflow is not only about money, success, or visible increase. It is peace where anxiety used to rule. It is clarity where confusion once controlled you. It is strength in places where you used to collapse. It is the ability to walk through a door without begging people to understand why God opened it. But you must say yes. Yes to His timing. Yes to His process. Yes to the path that may not make sense to everyone around you. Your transformation begins with agreement. The gates of heaven are opening, but you still have to walk forward. Do not stand at the threshold rehearsing old fears. God did not bring you this far to leave you outside the promise. Chosen one, the transformation God is working in you is not temporary. This is not a small emotional shift that fades when life becomes difficult again. God is renewing your mind, reshaping your heart, and teaching you to see yourself through His truth instead of through your wounds. The version of you that survived in fear is not the same version God is raising in faith. The person who once begged for approval is now learning to walk with quiet authority. The one who once questioned every closed door is now beginning to understand that protection sometimes looks like rejection. People will notice. They may not understand it, but they will feel it. Your face will carry a different peace. Your words will carry a different weight. Your presence will no longer beg to be accepted, because something deeper inside you will know that God has already called you by name. This is what happens when heaven begins to mark a life visibly. You stop chasing validation from places that never had the power to define you. But do not take this lightly. God's call is not casual. He is not inviting you into a life of comfort without consecration. He is saying, I have chosen you, but now you must choose me. You must choose faith over fear, obedience over delay, truth over the old lies that tried to keep you small. Every decision from this point matters, because alignment is built in the choices no one else sees. Your yes unlocks doors no man can shut. Your obedience releases blessings the enemy cannot steal. So do not hesitate at the edge of the new thing God is doing. Step forward with trembling faith if you must, but step forward. The door is open now. Chosen one, there is a cost to ignoring what God is speaking. This is not meant to frighten you, but to awaken you. When God calls, delay is not neutral. Running from purpose may feel easier for a moment, but it often leads the soul into storms it was never meant to fight. Look at Jonah. He heard the voice of God clearly, but fear, resistance, and personal will pushed him in another direction. Yet even in the storm, even in the belly of the whale, God's mercy was still calling him back to assignment. That is how serious your calling is. You may try to distract yourself with routines, people, entertainment, work, scrolling, or temporary comfort, but the voice of God will keep reaching for the deepest part of you. You can silence a notification, but you cannot silence divine purpose. You can avoid a conversation, But you cannot outrun what heaven has written over your life. And now God is asking you to stop negotiating with the old version of yourself. Stop asking fear for permission. Stop waiting until you feel completely ready. Most chosen ones are called while they still feel unqualified. Moses had doubts. Gideon was hiding. Esther was afraid. Mary did not have every answer. But their yes became a doorway through which God changed history. Imagine the life waiting on the other side of your obedience. A life where you move with confidence because you know God is guiding your steps. A life where old wounds no longer control your reactions. A life where your purpose shines so clearly that even darkness recognizes it cannot hold you anymore. God is not asking you to figure everything out alone. He is asking you to trust Him enough to take the next step. The reward of obedience is greater than the comfort of delay. Chosen one, God is doing a new thing in you, and you must have eyes to perceive it. Your old life, your old struggles, your old doubts, and the old names people placed on you are beginning to lose their power. What once controlled your emotions will no longer govern your direction. What once made you shrink back will now become evidence of how far God has brought you. The chapter that nearly broke you is not the chapter that will define you. But this new thing requires discernment. Sometimes God opens a door before your confidence catches up. Sometimes heaven begins moving before your circumstances look ready. That is why you cannot judge your future by what you see today. The seed does not look like the harvest, the wilderness does not look like the promise, and the preparation does not always look like progress. Yet God is working beneath the surface with precision. People may begin to notice that something about you is different. They may see a calmness where anxiety used to live, a strength where weakness once showed, a glow that cannot be explained by success alone. That is the evidence of God's presence transforming you from the inside out. You are becoming a living testimony, not because life has become easy, but because grace has made you stronger than what tried to destroy you. And now the enemy will try to attack your identity. He will whisper that you are still who you used to be, still bound by your past, still unworthy of the door God has opened. Reject that lie. God has called you by name. You are His. No weapon formed against you will prosper. The door before you is real, and no darkness has the authority to close what God has opened. Chosen one, your yes is more powerful than you realize. God's plan is perfect, but He will not force you to walk in it. He stands before you with purpose, with grace, with an open door, and He asks for your agreement. Not a shallow yes, spoken only when life feels easy, but a surrendered yes that remains steady when fear rises, when people misunderstand, when the path looks unfamiliar, and when obedience costs more than comfort. This is where many people turn back. They love the idea of destiny, but they resist the discipline that destiny requires. They want the promise, but they do not want the pruning. They want the platform, but they do not want the private breaking that prepares the soul to carry it. But you are not being called into a performance. You are being called into alignment. God is not asking you to impress the world. He is asking you to trust Him fully. Your choice today may look small from the outside. A prayer no one hears, a boundary no one understands, a habit you finally surrender, a step of faith you take while your hands are still shaking. But in the Spirit, small obedience can unlock massive doors. One yes can break a cycle. One yes can shift a bloodline. One yes can pull you out of years of hesitation and place your feet on the road God prepared long before you recognized it. Do not underestimate this moment. The enemy knows what your yes will release, so he will try to make delay feel reasonable and fear feel wise. But God is saying, move now, trust now, rise now. The door is open, and your obedience is the key that turns it. Chosen one, your life is not random. Every season you survived, every door that closed, every person who walked away, every prayer that seemed delayed, it was all part of a larger design that God was weaving, with more wisdom than you could understand in the moment. You saw fragments. God saw the full tapestry. You saw pain. God saw preparation. You saw loss. God saw separation from what could not enter your next level. This is why you must stop defining yourself by what happened to you. You are not your betrayal. You are not your delay. You are not the mistake you still regret when the room gets quiet. You are not the version of yourself that broke down, questioned everything, or felt forgotten. You are what God has spoken. Chosen, called, refined, strengthened, and prepared for a purpose that carries eternal weight. But alignment will require focus. The enemy's greatest weapon in this season will not always be obvious destruction. Sometimes it will be distraction dressed as urgency, drama disguised as responsibility, comfort pretending to be peace. If he cannot stop your calling, he will try to scatter your attention until you become too tired to obey. Guard your focus, guard your mind, guard the quiet place where God speaks. There is a harvest waiting for you, but you must not grow weary before it appears. Every act of faith has been a seed. Every tear you cried and still chose to trust was a seed. Every time you kept doing good when no one noticed, heaven noticed. And at the proper time, you will reap if you do not give up. So keep walking, keep believing, keep your eyes fixed on God. Your story is not ending in exhaustion. It is rising into testimony. Chosen one, this is the moment where everything becomes personal. God is not only speaking about your future, your breakthrough, or your calling. He is speaking about your soul. He is asking whether you will continue living beneath the weight of old fear, or whether you will finally rise into the identity He placed on you before the world had a chance to wound you. You were never created to drift through life half awake, reacting to pain, chasing approval, and calling survival your destiny. You were created to carry light. You were created to break chains. You were created to become evidence that God can take a wounded life and turn it into a living testimony. Every battle you survived was not meant to bury you. It was meant to reveal what God had placed inside you all along. Now the door is open. Not because you forced it, not because people approved it, not because circumstances finally became perfect, but because God has decided that the season of preparation has served its purpose. The waiting, the refining, the hidden tears, the private obedience, the lonely prayers, they have all brought you here. But do not leave this message as only emotion. Let it become a decision. Pray differently, walk differently, think differently, speak life over yourself. Cut off what keeps pulling you back into confusion. Protect your peace. Follow the voice of God, even when it requires courage. No one else understands. Your entire life is standing at the edge of obedience. And heaven is not asking you to be perfect. Heaven is asking you to be available. Say yes with your heart. Say yes with your choices. Say yes with the next step. Chosen one, your story is not finished. God is doing a new thing, and this time, you will not miss it.